Hi everybody, this is Pramita here, and today I'm going to show you how to put together an ephemera holder or a storage pack for your journal, which can be attached inside the signature also, or you can use it as a standalone one. So let's begin that. I'll show you the both versions because if you want to make it as a signature, if you want to put it inside a signature, you can do that also. It's basically a trifold. So here I have done that with some cardstock pattern paper. So I had just had this paper lying around and I thought I'm going to use this because right now I am doing my personal journaling inside this TN. So this was why I bought this a while back, and I was not journaling as such, but I used to be an avid journaler, so I tried to get back to the main thing. This is a notebook that I had lying around. I had made this a while back, like I think 3 or 4 years back. It is just a plain simple notebook with just a few random papers, some printables, some cardstock papers, some pattern papers, and all sorts of grid paper, all sorts of things. So I decided to use this, but the only problem that I'm having is I don't have any storage system in this. So I would like to add a few storage ephemera holder sort of thing. So to start off, I just made one, and I thought I'd share how I made this. So this is pattern paper, 12 by 12 cardstock pattern paper. So I wanted this to be a little bit sturdy, so that is why I'm using pattern paper. But if you want to put this inside a signature, I would advise that you should go with your regular copy paper or printer paper. So in that case, you can do simply one thing. You won't get the pocket as such over here. You will have to add this pocket separately. So I'll show you how you can make this with plain copy paper, but copy paper being a little bit less sturdy, what I would suggest is that you add some sort of reinforcement at the spines, or where your the stitching will be. So that can be in the form of fabric, or can be in the form of washi tape if you so want, or even paper tape. That can work also. So I'll just show you how I'm going to do this on a plain copy paper. But for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a thicker cardstock paper to back this, so that it's a little bit sturdy. I'll show you a paper that I'm using. Okay. So this is a drawing paper sort of thing. It is a little bit thicker than your copy paper, but it's not very thick. It is around 130 GSM. I don't know that in the form of pounds. So what I'll do is I'll just take off one sheet. Now I don't want this to be too sturdy also, because then it will crack, or maybe it might not fold or sit well in your journals. I don't know why this is happening. Anyways, let me take this paper. So here I have the paper. Yes, I'm pretty ruthless with papers, so I'm going to trim this part off. Now you won't be able to see anything of this, because these are all going to go inside here. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to back these two up so that they are a little bit sturdy, but they will remain flexible also. I'm showing this with copy paper only because many of you might not have suitable cardstock paper, but you can do the same thing with the cardstock paper also. You don't need to have, if you want to use up your stash, I think you should do it with cardstock paper, but that can only be a standalone one. It totally depends upon the thickness of your cardstock paper. If it is not too thick, then you can use it as in your journal, or if it's too thick, then I would not advise you to use it inside the journal page. So this is going to be the inside. So I'm just going to glue this. Now I have to look for my glue stick, because yeah, so my glue stick is nearing to its end, so I'll use some other glue stick perhaps. So okay, I'm using another glue stick. Sorry guys, I'm just a mess. So actually this is again one of those unplanned videos. So so what I'll do is I'm just going to I don't want this to be totally glued up, because I'm going to stitch this. So even if they are not glued from the corner to the corner, it doesn't matter, because they are going to stick eventually. So this is the paper, and I'm just going to line this up. Okay. And I don't have a gift card now. I can't seem to find it. Oh my god. So it's okay, I can work without it. So I'm just going to you know what, when we want something which is very essential, we just don't seem to find it. So this is the basic structure that we have put together. We've just glued. If you don't have a thicker paper, just use 2 or 3 layers of your printer paper. It's going to do the same job, so you don't need to worry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a trifold look. So what I've done is I have taken my scoreboard. Now I'm not a big scoreboard person, frankly, but in this case I think you should score it, because that would give you a better folding situation. So here it is. So this is actually 11 and a half. Okay, so 11 and a half is, if you're doing it trifold, then it comes down to 3 point something. So we're going to do it as 3.5, because 3.5 and 3.5 is 7, and then it will be 10 and a half. So there's going to be a little bit of wiggle room. So we're going to do it 3 and a half. So this is our, I hope you can see the score line. Yeah. So this is going to be our first fold line. Okay, and then we're going to take this. We're not going to do the entire, we are going to give a little bit of room over here, because if you start adding stuff, this will get rolled over a little bit, stuffed. So the best is like so. So I'm going to give this a little bit of room. So you can make it 3 1/4 also. I have this much left, and I need to take this off, because this is all uneven, jagged kind of edge. So I'll definitely take this off. So now you have your basic structure done. Okay. So your basic structure is done, but you would say that where are the pockets and stuff like that, because when you're using a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you automatically get an extra bit which can be folded into a pocket, but in this case you don't have that. So you'll have to create that pocket with other paper. But in that case, I would not advise that you take a very thick sheet of paper, because then your pockets will become too bulky. So I just have this scrap piece left from the other side, and I'm just going to show you how much this is. This is 11.5 as usual, and this is okay, so this is 4 1/4, but I don't want this taller pocket, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip off a little bit. So there can be a lot of pocket configurations, and you'll see how that can be done. So I'm just going to take this off. Also trim this. Okay, so that's that, and this will be our pocket. And the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to stitch this folder and show you how it looks after I have stitched everything up, and come back to do the rest. Okay, so I'm back to show you what I've done, and I don't think I'll be able to finish this in one session, so I might do 2 parts to this. So this is the main structure that I have. Now I have used the zigzag stitch. Why? I'll tell you, because once you use the zigzag stitch in the place of your spine, it automatically gives you better spine activity, you know. So you don't need to use a fabric over here or some sort of tape. This automatically becomes a little bit more flexible because they have been pierced so many times. So you can try that also. And this is how it's looking. Okay, so you can have it either way. You can have it this way opening, but I like to keep the bigger fold on the top because that gives a more protection sort of thing. So I'm going to put it this way. So I'll have my folder like this. So I'll have a bigger pocket over here, and then I can put some smaller pockets over here, and there will be around 6 pockets, as you can see, at least. Hope to have 6 pockets, and then at the back I can add more pockets. So I'll cut down the papers, and I'll be back to show you what I have been up to. Okay, so I am back. I'll be using these 2 collage sheets from my shop, and I'll post all the links below if you're interested. So I will be covering these up. I don't need this right now. So I'm just going to go and see how much I will require. So I'm going to just gauge the paper. As you can see, it's pretty simple. I just can take it and fold it like so without any hassle, because it's done. This ephemera holder is done in such a way, but I want to have separate panels because that's going to give me more room to put things in, and I'm going to cut out the panels and show you how things work. So I will be using one single sheet like so, and just guesstimate sort of thing. I had my ruler somewhere here, and now I can't seem to find it. Yes, I have it here. So I just basically need this much. I don't need the rest, so I can just take my paper trimmer box cutter. That's the one that I use, and I'm going to cut this out. These papers are pretty thick, and I do need to back them up onto something. So, and I'll show you how they will be my pockets. Okay, so this is the piece that would go in here, and I will keep them in the opening in the lengthways. So what I'll do is I'll add a flap on the top, okay, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'll be using some more collage sheets from my shop. So these are going to be used as the flaps. So I'm going to take off the white edge, or I can keep it, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to add a flap. so that they close easily, you know. So I'm going to keep a flap. So I'm going to cut out a piece, not very big, but just a tiny random piece. Some of it is going to go inside the page, and I'll tell you why. So I hope I'm straight, cutting this straight. I don't know, probably not. I have this portion cut out, and now what I'll do is I will put this portion inside and have this closed as a flap. So I'm going to score this slightly. Let me move the camera a little bit. Yeah. So I'm going to score this lightly, and this is going to go inside like so. So I'm going to glue this part. I'm going to glue this part. This is going to form the lip of the envelope, and my paper will go in here. Okay, I hope this is making sense, and I'm going to give this some kind of shape so that it is a bit sturdy. I'm going to add a closure also, so I need to do that. And to add extra room, I can fold this part and show you how I can add extra space to this. So I'm going to I am going to fold this a little tiny bit, not much, little tiny bit, and the same thing over here. Now this will give a little bit extra room to the pocket, and also I need to calculate how much I need to have and how much I need to take off. So this is going to be my envelope pocket sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to give this a little bit of shape, and I'll be back. So I need to figure this out. Okay, kind of shape I want. So this is the portion I don't need basically. So I can trim this part off. Sorry, I can trim this part off, and I will give this a little bit of shape. So if you have a corner rounder, you can do it. If you don't, then you can just eyeball it, or if it doesn't bother you, then you can keep it as it is. I'm just going to eyeball this. Okay, and this is our lip to the envelope. But since we have not made the envelope, this is going to be a faux lip, you can say, because this is going to be attached on the folder. This is not going to be attached on the envelope part. So this is our cover. We are doing the back portion first. So I'm going to lay this down. Okay, and then I'm going to add this like so. The closure we can add something later on, no need to worry. And so before I proceed further, I am going to stencil around the whole thing, and I will be using some vintage photo and my blending tool. So my stencils that I'll be using. So I'm just going to concentrate more towards the edges, because I don't want the blank edges to show through, because remember we are using cardstock pattern paper. So this is how it's going to look, concentrating more towards the edges, because the middle part is obviously going to be covered up. So again, I'm concentrating more towards the edges. if I want, I can give this a different kind of texture, you know, a different shade by just spraying some water. Just so this is how it's looking. And if you want to spray some water, you can do so. I did have a spray bottle somewhere. So you can just add some. I'll just show you. I have dipped this brush in water and I'm just going to sprinkle some. And I will let these bleed through a little bit. I don't want too much, but we'll see how different they will look. See how they blend. You can blend them a little bit, not too much. In this manner you can add extra dimension to your stencils. See how they have this bleeded kind of look. And I'm just going to let this dry, and I'll show you how this will look with the paper that we had cut. So if I put this over here, look how pretty it is looking. So this will have a closure also. So I'll be back to show you the next part where we are going to work on the other pockets. So I think this is going to be about 3-part series. So I'll be back to show you the third part. I hope to get some prepping done so that the time is a little bit less and we can learn more in 2 sessions. So bye everybody, have a great day. Thank you for watching this. Bye.